Undead have historically been tough for Beastmen due to their lack of leadership. Today we're going to be taking a look at a recent tournament game from, well, not this week's Friday Night Fights, but last week's Friday Night Fights between, let's see, Qualiduck is the Tomb Kings here, and as for the, Qualiduck is the Beastmen. The Tomb Kings player here is the Tomb Kings player we saw just recently in a game, and name is eluding me. Joy Boy, that's right. Okay, so let's get things rolling here. The Beastmen do have quite a big vanguard force of Zangors ready to soak some damage with their barrier and then run in and do some damage. We've got Minotaurs with shields, Taurox, El Toro de Bronce. I'm probably butchering that, so I apologize to any of you Spanish speakers out there. Got Centaurs, we've got Harpies, and a Brave Shaman of Beasts. Yeah, that's basically it. Similar mirror on the opposite flank for the Tomb Kings, Arkhan El Negro. Yes, absolutely fantastic. He's got Nekara Horsemen, and he's got some Chosen of the Gods, Ushabti Great Bows, regular Ushabti Great Bows, Eyes of the Desert Sepulchral Stalkers, lots of Skeleton Spears, a couple of Tomb Guard, Halberds as well, and Kepper Guard. So yeah, we're going to get things rolling. Tomb Kings immediately counterattacking to a degree. Arkhan using his chariot to pretty decent effect, disrupting with those Nekara Horsemen as well. But it looks like a little Spirit Leech on Taurox also. Taurox is a really great pick in this matchup. He's got awesome combat stats, and more importantly, flaming damage, so he can go smack down Tomb King's lords. Right now, Qualiduck's just using him against some infantry, which, I'd probably have him just mirroring wherever Arkhan goes, but flank attack here underway. Sepulchral Stalkers do have anti-large and charge defense, so they should have no problem pushing back this horde of Centaurs. Yeah, Centaurs are non-AP. They're not the great weapon variant, so they'll have a little bit of a tougher time with the armor of those Sepulchral Stalkers. Meanwhile, the Chosen of the Gods, Skeleton Horse Archers can turn around and dump some arrows into that engagement as well. These Nekara Horsemen completely sacrificed at this point, but managed to break up the advance a little bit, delay those Minotaurs from getting to the right place at the right time. Centaurs are going to be chasing away the Skeleton Horse Archers and taking them down, but already have taken significant damage because of the Ushabti Great Bows and other units kind of trying to focus them. Minotaurs have a little bit of an angle here to go after these Ushabti Great Bows, but instead get a little bit tangled up on this unit of Kepper Guard. Would like to see them kind of shoot this gap. Same thing with Taurox. Shoot up this gap and just immediately start pressuring the Ushabti Great Bows, because skeletons are really not too much of a worry of yours. Even Tomb Guard in the late game, if you have the tools, should be able to be taken down relatively easily, but Tomb Kings are able to still maintain like a pretty decent defensive firing position here with the Eyes of the Desert, Sepulchral Stalkers, various units all trying to concentrate fire, and especially with Spirit Leech now on Taurox, he is going to make contact, but he's pretty much surrounded by anti-large units, especially those cheap skeletons just getting little pokes on him. It's definitely going to hurt him over time, and it'll be very cost-effective for the skeletons themselves, so it's a tough situation to be in for sure, but let's see if Taurox can hold out. The rest of his army trying their best to collapse whatever units are out on this far side here. Looks like we've got the Summoned Ushabti up to help defend against that, but the Kepper Guard are definitely taking some pretty major damage. That said, loss of Taurox will be significant if it happens, so let's see if he can get some reinforcements in to help Taurox out. Looks like some Centaurs coming back in are able to rear charge and help shut down this Ushabti Great Bow. Again, they're not taking much damage. These Ushabti Great Bows aren't because of the lack of AP. Taurox, though, eventually does scoot over and into more friendly troops. Going to use his armor piercing to take down Chosen of the Gods. Do have Spirit Leech from Arkhan immediately responding, though, trying to whittle down that brass bull. And again, these Minotaurs here just staying over long on this engagement could have definitely gone to help provide their armor piercing damage. Because at the end of the day, Qualiduck actually didn't have that much armor piercing in his build. I mean, there's, Taurox himself and the Minotaurs, but they haven't been necessarily... I mean, Taurox has been doing his best to pressure this backline. He actually now gets routed by the Eyes of the Desert, but the Minotaurs have just been a little bit misused here in terms of not being on the right targets at the right time. Taurox also, I definitely agree with chasing down those backline targets, but like I said, I might have had him just mirroring Arkhan trying to chase him wherever he went. I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe the best thing to do is just use him to help, again, take down those armor-piercing units to the backline. But from a build perspective also, I think it would have been nice to see some Razorgores here. I think they're generally an extremely cost-effective unit in pressuring Ushabti Greatbows and just generally hitting at the backline of the Tomb Kings. They've got great armor-piercing damage for the cost. Not the best stats in the world, but especially in terms of providing extra volume, and especially extra armor-piercing volume. Like, I might have even just cut one or more of the Centaurs straight up and just replace them with Razorgores. Or take a mix of both, you know. Maybe you could cut one Zangor from the front line, and it's pretty much the same cost to just take a Razorgore instead, right? So maybe you cut one Zangor, maybe you even cut one Minotaur and just take one Minotaur, and then you take plenty of Razorgores to give you lots of armor-piercing volume of mass. Would have definitely been beneficial, but certainly Tomb Kings are not out of the woods yet. The Beastmen still have plenty of power left on the field here. Zangor's still fighting it out. Taurox is likely to fall here. Yep, looks like he goes down to the Spirit Leech and concentrated missiles of the Tomb Kings there. The Eyes of the Desert just paying absolute dividends. Chosen the Gods also still online very critically. Tomb Kings support infantry is pretty much gone, but the Minotaurs, last unit of Minotaurs finally reaches the Sepulchral Stalkers too late. Even if they were to win here, which they likely can, it's still going to take them some time, and with the rest of the Beastmen units suddenly all basically chain routing at the same time, it's just left these Minotaurs by themselves, and they just do not have the leadership to get it done. One other thing from a build perspective, Brace Shaman of Beasts, you know, Beast is fine, but when it comes to Beastmen, I am of the opinion you should always take Lore of Wild. I mean, obviously you take whatever Lore of Magic you want, whatever strikes you fancy and feels like fun flavor, but in terms of competitiveness in a tournament setting, you know, I would always take Lore of Wild, mostly because Traderkin is insane. Definitely would have made the difference in terms of the HP left. If we just look at, like, the Chosen of the Gods, this Eyes of the Desert, that amount of HP easily could have been taken care of with Traderkin. Traderkin's like one of the strongest spells in the game right now for land battles especially, so definitely would have liked to have seen just trade this guy out for Lore of Wild, and honestly that might have been enough to carry even with the build as it currently is. Again, I probably also would make this a little bit wider, maybe cut one of those Zangors, maybe cut one of the Minotaurs and take some Razorgore herds, just to give some extra wide armor-piercing mass and mobility, but still is a very close one. Well played to both, honestly. Joy Boy there showing his skill in defending, and especially the Sepulchral Stalker is just such a strong unit in this matchup. That ability to defend with a monstrous infantry that also has a powerful ranged attack. It's just, they've got a lot going for them, honestly. And Tomb Guard Halberds, nice to see them perform reasonably well. Kepler Guard also survive until the late game and get some pretty nice value cutting through Zangors, who themselves get really high kill totals. I like the pick of the Zangors here for a number of reasons, but might be a little bit overkill to have this many. Again, you could tweak this composition in a number of different ways to try and get a little bit more armor-piercing backline pressure, and I do think that would probably be a good idea, but regardless, still a fun one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.